The Las Vegas Aces are in the middle of one of the most dominant runs in WNBA history, but where do they rank among the best teams of all time? Today, I'll answer that question. Let's get into it. Before we get into the actual top 10, these are the 4 teams with the highest winning percentage to not win a championship that year. This includes the 2000 Los Angeles Sparks, the 2016 Minnesota Lynx, the 2021 Connecticut Sun, and the 2023 New York Liberty. Rest in peace to the Sacramento Monarchs, but in 2005, they went 25-9 on their way to a championship. They went 7-1 in the playoffs that year, but what makes them a top 10 team ever is their defense. They had an 88.5 defensive rating, which is the second best mark of any WNBA champion in league history, number 1 being the Houston Comets in those early aughts years. But the Monarchs were a team that was very solid and deep. They didn't have anybody average more than 15 points per game, and they just competed on both ends, and that's why they're here at number 10. You could make a case for the 2020 champion winning Storm as the better team, but that was a weird season where they were in the bubble, the schedule was shorter, so I didn't include that in this ranking. But the 2018 Storm went 26-8 on their way to a championship. 2018 was, in my opinion, Breanna Stewart's best season of her career to this point. She shot a career-high 41% from 3 on her way to an MVP award. After this season, she tore her Achilles, which caused her to miss all of the 2019 season. Stewie is still one of the best players in the world today, but she was a one-of-a-kind athlete before this injury. The 2016 Los Angeles Sparks were insane. They had Christy Tolliver at the 1. They also had Alana Beard, Candace Parker, and Nneka Ogwumike, who won MVP in 2016. They were an elite defensive team. That's where they got their offense started, was being an elite defensive team. Alana Beard finished 4th in Defensive Player of the Year. Nneka Ogwumike finished 3rd. You also have Candace Parker, who is one of the most unique players this league has ever seen, as a 6'4" player that can play the point and pretty much play any spot on the court. So yeah, this was an elite team and one of the best teams ever. You could make a case for the 2019 Washington Mystics being higher on this list. They had the highest margin of victory in league history, winning by almost 20 points per game. It's insane. In 2019, though, Atlanta Deladon won MVP, and she had the only 50-40-90 season in WNBA history. The 2010 Seattle Storm went 28-6 on their way to a championship, and they are one of 6 teams in the league history to have an undefeated playoff run. They were led by Lauren Jackson, Sue Bird, Swin Cash, also having Tanisha Wright and Camille Little. Very good group. Lauren Jackson won MVP this year, and Lauren Jackson, similar to Atlanta Deladon, is one of the most unique players at her size, being able to stretch the floor, but also rim protect and defend in space. For pretty much the entire time Diana Taurasi has been with Phoenix, they've been known as a team that is going to lead the league in offense, but be one of the worst defenses in the league as well. But in 2014, it was different. They had their 4th highest defensive rating in franchise history. On their way to a championship, they had DeWanna Bonner. They also had Brittany Griner, Candice Dupree, and Penny Taylor. It was their only time in franchise history also where they had an 105 offensive rating and a defensive rating lower than 96. At number 4 is where I have the 2022 and 2023 Las Vegas Aces. They went 60-16 over this 2-year stretch, winning back-to-back championships. If Las Vegas wins the championship again this year in 2024, they will probably jump a couple spots, not number 1, but they'll be up there. 2022 playoff Chelsea Gray was one of the best players I've ever seen. She averaged 22 points and 7 assists on 61% shooting from the field and 54% shooting from 3. If you've never watched her highlights from this playoff run, look it up after this video. It's insane. One of the best playoff performances I've ever seen. In 2023, they were excellent as well, and they had the 2nd highest margin of victory in league history, and they also went 8-1 on their way to a championship in 2023. And then now they're still the favorite to win a title again this year, and their core is still pretty young. Jackie Young's in their 20s, Asia's still in her 20s, Chelsea's only in her early 30s, so it's possible they could do it again. The Minnesota Lynx had a way of winning championships in the odd years. Over this 8-year stretch, they went 182-56, and they won championships in 2011, 2013, 2015, and 2017. They were led by Maya Moore, Simone Augustus, Lindsay Whalen, Rebecca Brunson, and they also had Sylvia Fowles as well from 2015 to 2017. With Minnesota's team, and what made them so good is they had one of the best starting 5s ever. If you said, yeah, this is the best starting 5 ever, I couldn't disagree. I mean, there's a case there. It's probably between them or Las Vegas. The top two teams on this list were really heavily reliant on their top 2 to 3 players, but those players were extremely, extremely good. The Los Angeles Sparks went 53-11 over this 2-year stretch in 2001 and 2002, and they won back-to-back championships. In 2001, they set the record for the longest win streak in WNBA history at 18 games. In 2001 as well, they had the second highest win streak in league history, only behind the 1998 Houston Comets. They were led by Lisa Leslie, who won MVP in 2001 and is one of the best players this league has ever seen. There's no surprise who is at number 1. The Houston Comets went 98-24 over a 4-year stretch from 1997 to 2000. They were led by Cynthia Cooper, who won MVP in 1997 and 1998. They also had Cheryl Swoops, who won MVP in 2000, and they also had Tina Thompson. No American professional sports team has won 4 straight championships since the Comets. This is something that happens maybe every 30 years, so does it happen again? The best chance is probably the Las Vegas Aces now. There's so much parity across American professional sports, from the NBA to the MLB to the NFL, that winning 4 straight championships is so tough. It's hard to win 1, it's hard to win 2, it's hard to win 3, but winning 4 in a row is almost unheard of. So does it happen with the Aces? We'll see. It will be interesting. But yeah, the Comets are one of the best sports teams ever. If you made it to this point in the video, odds are you're a big basketball fan like myself, so feel free to the subscribe button for more WNBA content, more draft content, and more WNBA history content like this, where I dive into the best teams of all time, the best players, the best overall, and honestly just the evolution of the league as well. The WNBA has built a lot of momentum over the last couple years, but I think it's important to understand the players that paved the way for the modern generation and what we're going through right now. So anyways, I'll see y'all next time.